All right, welcome back. It's not snowing anymore, but it's still windy and crappy. All the stuff's kind of blowing all over the yard. Yeah, so I kind of, again, want to make another kind of impromptu video. It's freezing, but I was sitting watching YouTube videos saying I'm not doing anything with my life. Let me look at these. This one, the supercharged that had the late in the game overheating, not overheat, just run hot issue, and the black L322 with the slight transmission shudder. Again, I'm looking at these from the wrong angle. This one, if you remember the video, it had blue coolant in it, which means I feel like somebody had done something in the cooling system, either replaced a water pump or something, didn't know what they were doing, and then didn't bleed the system properly. Seeing how it just kind of jumped up and never overheated, just kind of got hot. So I'm gonna try to, quickly maybe check the level, bleed the system, and see what it does. See if we can rule out the fact that this thing was sold with an issue that wasn't disclosed, because that kind of bothers me. So let's get this kind of moved up and out of the way, and pop it open. Whew, it is not a warm day. It is not dead either. Let's hit the Range Rover buttons and give this a second to let it warm up a little bit, shall we say, and then kind of pull it up out. Let's check out all our functionalities here. Oh, someone also mentioned if I turn the lights on, put the high beams on, and then hit this button down here, that we might have the front fogs on. So let's check that out while we wait to let this think about its life. Oh, yes. Hey, that's the beauty of YouTube comments. Appreciate whoever dropped that comment in there. That's awesome. All right, well, let's give this a minute. Much drastically better. All right, so we're gonna let it warm up a little bit. I just opened the hood and opened the bleeder screw just to, potentially let some of the air out that could be trapped in the system. I am not an expert in this. I'm gonna let everyone know that. But I was just thinking back to some of the other Rovers that I've owned in the past that were sold to me with the thought that it had a bad head gasket and that, it had some serious cooling issues, when it really turned out to be just poor bleeding from someone who just didn't know what they were doing. I'm not saying I know what I'm doing, but I know people that know what they're doing, so that helps. But I'm gonna try the first step and see where that takes us. So again, this thing won't warm up quickly, so we're just gonna let it idle out here for a little while, and then probably pull it in and see what happens. Now here's another fun. Now when I made the video of the truck, when we first got it, it did have this kind of hunting idle thing that RVA Rover Supercharger is doing as well, and this one's doing the same thing, which seems to be in conjunction with the fan, I feel like. What's the bog? Weird. Because it'll idle fine and then it'll just kind of start hunting for no reason. Give it a little... I'm also noticing I'm not getting any heat, which is... I'm not saying I tested that before, but this is interesting. And then just like that, it stops throwing a fit. And it's not showing any low coolant lights or anything like that. So maybe I'll go ahead and add some and then see where we're at. See if this temperature will start coming up soon. All right, we're back. It died. Now, it didn't die. I turned it off. I forgot. This truck was missing a gas cap, which was probably part of the fluctuating RPM. And I went and I grabbed the gas cap from the other one to see if I could idle it out. I turned it off, and then it didn't want to turn back on. So I had to grab a jump box, and it's freezing. But at least we got that part sorted. So again, attempt number 2 to pull it inside. All right, so we're back inside in a slightly warmer setting. Sounds much better. less hunty on the idle. We'll see how long that lasts. I think that was really mainly on the cold start. Got this hooked up back here, but kind of wanted to show you what was going on up here. Again, I've checked the oil and the cap for any type of residue that would signify a head gasket or anything like that, and really no such thing, honestly. Battery's charging. I'm not sure why it died. That was odd. So again, we're gonna kind of let this thing run, see if it'll vent out any of the air that might be in the cooling system, which I don't know. Again, there's really no reason, unless it's absolutely pissing coolant out of a water pump or something, which really wouldn't even mean it's overheating. So I'm not an expert. I'm just frustrated, and I feel like there's more to it than an actual issue, judging by all the things that we've seen so far. So I've also added a little bit of coolant. So let's we'll give it a second, see if it'll warm up a little bit, and then check on those temps. All right, so there we go. It's finally coming up in temperature. Let me turn the heat on again, see if we also get some heat, since I wasn't getting heat before. Still cool air. That's concerning. That's a new one. And that temp gauge is moving pretty quick now. See if it wants to stop once it gets to the middle there. All right, so we're holding temperature good, well, effectively, happily, which is good. What's not good? I don't have heat. Oh wait, hold on. Nope. Oh. I forgot, German car. I don't know if that shouldn't really change anything, but it was on cool. Let's turn these fans up a little bit. I don't want to turn the lights on again. Maybe there's an electrical issue that was causing that. Yeah. A little bit of strain on the system. So again, as you can see, it's been idling for a little while. The temperature is not creeping up, but no heat. So again, I didn't do much research for I wanted to do this experiment, so I don't know what that means. If it was a Volvo or something, I would have said it's low on coolant. I guess I'll go check the level, but it wasn't really low on coolant, and it wasn't giving me a low coolant message, which it's a British product, which means it loves to give you that message. So yeah, let's again, I'm not sold that was the issue. Again, I opened the bleeder screw, let it run, let it bleed out, probably had a little bit of pressure in there, blah blah blah. So we're not gonna take that at face value just yet. So let's see what the next 5 or so minutes bring as it just kind of sits here and idles. All right, so that's another 3.5 minutes. I closed the plastic bleeder screw. It's still maintaining a good temperature. I still don't have heat. But I'm semi-happy with the results so far. I'm not going to say I fixed anything. Again, not a mechanic, but I had a hunch that it wasn't a terminal type of issue. And again, I'm not saying I fixed it. But I feel a little bit better about it. And I just wish this would blow a little warmer. That is so odd. So I think that what the next thing I'm going to do is actually pull it back outside. Now that I've got the gas cap installed and I'm actually maintaining temperature and my heated seat is nice, and let it idle for a little bit longer and then kind of see where we're at. Whew, okay, I got the heated steering wheel working. Oh, it says the trunk's open. Man, always something. How's this? That's fine. Let's try this again. All right, heated steering wheel, heated seat. Stop blinking. No actual heat. Truck not overheating. Let's see if I actually did anything. It's like deja vu. temperature staying nice. Much better without the limo tint on it, even though I do admit that it did look pretty cool, especially on the windshield. Again, I aspire to 06 drug dealer vibes sometimes. I can't help it. All right. So, still holding temp. Clearing the snow off, and everything's still looking good. I wish we had heat. That's the only thing that really hasn't changed. But everything else, that temp gauge is staying rock solid. Let's whip around here. Oh man, sorry, I had to grab the beauty pics. And guys, I know I'm waiting for that heat, that coolant gauge to start creeping up as much as you guys are. I want it to happen. I want to be wrong, but it's not doing it. It's staying happy. I know it's a cooler day out. But I knew this thing wasn't broken. It felt like a good truck. Maybe the wrong people looked at it, but you know, I didn't think it was ruined. So that's all I wanted to do today. So let's wrap this up. Do another pull here because it's fun. Ooh, I love it. I want it. But yeah, let's go ahead and park this back in the victory spot, and let's see if we can get a twofer here. I'm not that optimistic, but let's grab the black 06. Check out that transmission fluid. Might be low. Freaking gas cap roulette out here. What does this one run? What does this one run? I got one gas cap and a lot of trucks. People these days. All right, so I'm much less confident in my ability to properly diagnose this one. After doing some research, a little transmission slip, it felt like. A little torque converter shudder is what I'm thinking, you know? Not the end of the world. Sorry, I gotta try to heat myself up. I'm assuming this one has heat. I'm hoping this one has a little heat. That'd be nice, seeing how it's 32 degrees outside. So, again, like transmission things, I'm gonna let this thing get up to temp, maybe take it around the block, and then pull it in, and we're gonna check our levels. I probably should have done some research to figure out if this had a sealed unit or not. I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that it's not a sealed unit, and it might be a short video, but it's part 2. Let's see if I can fix both of my broken Range Rovers in one day for almost no money. All right, so again, let me explain my thought process for this one as well. We've got a little bit of shudder, we got a little bit of slippage. It's just a car. So, you know, with 180,000 miles or 170,000 miles, the transmission fluid could be a little low. So, like I said, we're gonna take it around the block, we're gonna warm it up. Before I take it around the block, I'm gonna let it warm up a little more than I usually do as well, to see if it's any, you know, if there's any improvement. Because the first time that we really felt it, we jumped in and kind of felt it right away. So, I wanna go ahead, I wanna knock that out first for the test, and then go through the rest of the kind of the troubleshooting, and we'll see if there's any success involved with this silly endeavor. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention is the kind of hesitation in low range. Again, I'm in low range on gravel, you know, and it was taking more speed than it usually does. Shift into second in low range, so 3,000. All right, there's the shift, which is it's not bad. It's just a little more than I feel like it should. So it's another sign. Again, I'm hoping I'm onto something here. All right, now video over. Fix the transmission. We're all good to go. I'm the #1 mechanic. Nope. So I kind of had a feeling the whole time that I was making this video that the transmissions on these didn't don't have fill dipsticks. I just didn't do the research, and then I just confirmed that they don't. So, yep, that's the video. I don't have time to slide into there and fill it on the fill hole. So that's going to be a shop activity. And yeah, but hey, I got the one sorted. I'm okay with that. Got to figure out where the heat's at, but I would say that's a win. This one is actually driving much better now it's warmed up, so I think I'm heading in the right direction. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. If you like the video, appreciate you guys watching. This is an interesting series. I'm learning more as I go, obviously, and I'm having a blast. So again, appreciate you guys watching. Please like, subscribe, hit that little bell thingy, and enjoy your terrible Saturday. It's gross out here.